Okay, I've got my bag of tricks. I've made the living room very cozy. Thomas has the kiddos and we are gonna have a chatty, get ready with me, and we're gonna talk about being an aging influencer. This is very much a video response to the comments on my 10 years on YouTube video. And the reason I want to make this, the idea for this video, sparked by this stupid filter on TikTok. You know, the one that makes you look older, the aged one, and loads of celebrities are posting their mortified reactions to how they look. What is on my face? Made older anyway. And I put up a reel on Instagram that a lot of you really liked. I used the filter and I just started crying, but they were like happy tears because I looked like my nana. My nana died when I was 16 and she was like my favourite person in the universe. But since I posted that, I can't stop thinking about this. I have so many thoughts that I want to share with you today. So first, I'm going to do my skincare. I actually had a facial yesterday. Thomas booked me in for a nail appointment. I got Barbie pink nails to celebrate the Barbie movie coming out this weekend. I'm so excited to see it.
I thought I might stay over tonight.
Why?
Because we're girlfriend, boyfriend.
To do what?
I'm actually not sure.
I haven't been this excited about a film in many's the year. Yeah, he's off work at the moment and he booked me in for like a manicure, pedicure, facial, and I just feel like a new woman. I haven't been to a salon since my baby was born 6 months ago. But yeah, I've no skincare on, but my skin does feel like brighter. It was a vitamin C facial, and this is a little vitamin C capsule. They're from Pixie, and Pixie sent me out these, full disclosure, to try. I get sent a lot of things I never share, but these I am in love with because they make the application so fun, just getting to burst open a little capsule every day. You don't have to do it every day, but vitamin C, SPF, and salicylic acid and retinol and glycolic acid. Those are the skincare loves of my life. I was being so crap about skincare for months. Same thing happened after my first baby was born. It just gets way pushed down the priority list. So that's just a vitamin C serum. Yeah, it's nice and fresh because, you know, when you buy a vitamin C serum, it can go off and like it's not going to work as well if it's just been kind of sitting around open for a long time. I'm going to leave that for a minute and then I'm going to put on my moisturizer, because if I don't leave a gap of time between layers of skincare, it starts to pill, meaning like it peels out. If you rub your face, it's as if all the skin cells are just congealed in, and all the skincare is just a big gloopy pile. So I'm trying to leave gaps between layers, but I'm using and loving at the moment the Mineral 89 Vichy moisturizer, the 72-hour moisture boosting cream. And I bought this one, but they had sent me out a pot of this to try, and I used the whole thing up and I got my sister onto it, and I'm telling everyone about it because it's so hydrating. But I just want to say the comments and the messages that I got after the 10-year video, I laughed, I sobbed, so many feelings bubbled. I got one message that had me in floods of tears. It was a follower referencing the film Hook. I don't know if you've seen that, but it's about Peter Pan. He has left Neverland for the real world. He's grown up, he's forgotten all about Neverland, and he's had kids with Moira, Wendy's grandchild.
I wanted to be a father. I'm a daddy.
I've shared so many times that I love Hook. I have a tattoo of Tinkerbell on my shoulder. I'm a big Peter Pan fan. But this follower was talking about how it was like Peter Pan leaving the Lost Boys for the children. I'm going to get all upset. I don't know why this analogy really got me. Sorry. She said it was like Peter Pan leaving the Lost Boys and forgetting about them to care for his children. And then in Hook, like, he goes back to Neverland and yeah, he's there for them again. And it just, the messages I was getting made me really realise that I don't want to abandon this audience, this internet family. Really, I have a feeling like I should, because I'm getting older and because... Oh my God. Stop, come on. Oh, Jesus. There's so many hormones after you have a baby. I'm sorry. I'll do my moisturiser now to distract myself. So many feelings. There's such a feeling that I should, that I'm too old to be making YouTube videos. And this feeling I have is very much like society whispering to me. It's not like really me. Like, yes, I'm a bit bored with content at the moment because everything's very repetitive in my life in general. It's very hard to be creative when you're so distracted by caring for kids, and that's like all I want. It's like I want to pause everything and just soak up that, and I feel very torn. I find it very hard to juggle everything, but I mostly just feel kind of pushed out in a sense, in that the way social media operates now, it wants everyone to have a niche, and young people do dominate the likes of TikTok and Instagram. I think YouTube, though, most of the audience is actually older. Most of the audience on YouTube is in my age bracket, which would be 25 to 34, because I'm 33, so I'm at the end of that age bracket. But yeah, even Instagram, like a lot of people are my age on there. But I said in a recent video about how watching yourself mature reminds you of your mortality. It's never a super fun subject or whatever to talk about getting older, but like we have to talk about it. So many songs and films and TV shows and so much media, social media is dedicated to the topic of staying young forever. And we are inundated with assumptions and stereotypes regarding aging. And yes, it turns out some of those stereotypes are true, especially of motherhood. But the main message that I got from you is that a lot of you want to see life after the credits roll, like, you know, the whole, right, so you've fulfilled those dreams, like the dreams of having a family, getting a home, having kids, but like people want to see the after. People want to see life after 30, 40, 50, like, because life doesn't end after 30. And in many ways, I feel like my life is only starting, because so much of my 20s was like, just felt like I was trying to gather all these things. I wanted to like build my life how I wanted it to look, but like I'm still only just there. Like I've only just started that process. We've so much work we want to do on this house, and like I've so much to learn about being a parent. And I see so many people posting these Instagram reels about, you know, oh, if you don't have kids, your 30s are like your 20s but with money, and all the comments are just about how terrible life must be if you have children. But like, to me, my 40s will be like my 20s with money, and also two amazing little people that I birthed, that I nurtured, like two little best friends to travel with. And I'm really excited about my life. I hate the thought of not having this next chapter in my life to look back on, like the way I have all of those other years to look back on, like in that video. Anyway, I'm going to do the makeup now, but I just want to say I am processing a lot of feelings. We're going to talk about a lot of it in this video, and we're going to talk about some of the things that I talked about with my therapist, my BetterHelp therapist. I had an amazing conversation after the initial response to that 10 years video, and it was so helpful to go into a lot of my feelings about being an older person in this space, and, you know, not getting fillers and not getting Botox. Like, you know, all the people I follow are all documenting I'm going out to get Botox today, and like I feel ever more self-aware about, you know, my looks, my body, and it's just something that I don't have much control over, like how much external messaging my brain is absorbing on this. So anyway, I had a talk with my BetterHelp therapist, and it was beyond helpful. BetterHelp are the sponsor of this video. They've been a massive supporter of my channel. They are an incredible service. It's therapy 100% online. They have a network of 30,000 therapists, all licensed, all experienced, that can help you with so many different issues, from anxiety to depression to body image to parenting issues to alcohol issues to financial stress, relationship issues with your parents. If you need someone to talk to who is unbiased, to get started with them, you just answer some questions specifying your needs and preferences with therapy, which is really helpful for them to then match you with someone who'll be best able to help you. And then if you decide that person's not a great match, it's actually free to switch therapists as well till you find the perfect person that you just bounce off and you get on really well with. I love BetterHelp so much because I can message them whenever I want, whenever I can. I'm in the trenches of motherhood with two small kids. It's all about the flexibility for me. Like when it suits me, I can message them. I text quite a lot and then we kind of break down my messages on a weekly video chat. I've done in-person therapy in my life, and with BetterHelp you get the same quality, the same professionalism as you do in an office with a therapist. So yeah, if you're like me and you don't want to offload all of your problems onto your spouse or your family members, and you want someone outside of your situation to kind of help you look at it, do check out BetterHelp. That's BetterHelp, HELP, and my link in the description will get you 10% off your first month. And you might only need a month, you might need 3 months, you might need 6 months. I'm the kind of person who dips in and out of therapy all the time. I've been in and out of therapy for 13 years now, and I just find it extremely helpful. You guys reminded me of this product on Instagram recently. It's the Sculpted by Amy Connolly Second Skin Dewy Finish Foundation, because they've got such pale shades. This is porcelain and it has SPF 50. I would usually use a separate SPF, but I'm not going to be going outside until later, so I'll probably put like a spray on over my makeup. And yeah, I'm just going to use a little bit of this. But yeah, my therapist used a great phrase there on our call. It really made me think of my journey that I like saw as I edited that 10 years video. She said, before you have kids, you are the picture. After you have kids, you become the frame. Oh, speak of the devil, I hear a little baby possibly needing boobies. I know a lot of people who breastfeed come up with all sorts of like different names and words to describe breastfeeding or the word for their kids, but I just say boobies.
What's going on in here?
Having a chat.
An electric fire next to a real fire.
Yeah. I'll give her a bit of boobie now.
You want to try it?
Okay, I'll be back momentarily. We're back, going in with a bit of the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Radiant Concealer. So yeah, we were kind of talking a lot about motherhood in general, about positive aging and ageism and how much that can affect your mental health without you even realising it. Ageism tells us that getting older and the experiences of older people are, it's all undesirable. But there's me like quite enjoying simple tasks like watering the plants and just, you know, going to a garden centre for an afternoon out. Like, to me, that is peak weekend activity. And there's just so many things like that ageism and like society just tells me it's not interesting. People want to watch influencers who are living this young, free and single, carefree life, and it's like my brain, because of the ageism, is telling me there's no place for me on the internet living a very mundane yet very meaningful life. And I do think there's so much meaning in my life, and so many topics we talked about in my last therapy session that were just fascinating to me, like the difference between happiness and meaning. A lot of the day-to-day with kids it's not necessarily going to make you happy, changing like 20 nappies and dealing with the big feelings that toddlers experience and building your whole day around your baby's multiple naps. So much of it is like you want to pull your hair out. At the same time, it's the kind of thing that really sustains you in life, and there's lots of paths to meaning. It's not like you have to have kids to have meaning in your life, but it's a kind of fundamental part of a lot of people's lives that they choose, people who choose to have kids, and lots of you are going through that or want to go through that and want content on all of that stuff. Sorry, I keep waiting. I want to show you this as well, but I want to keep talking. I will continue talking in a minute. I made a reel on Instagram about this. It's called Glassy. It's by a brand called Espresso. I was sent this with all the PR packages, and I was not expecting to be absolutely dazzled by this product, but this is a clear gel blush, and it reacts with the pH on your skin and turns a unique colour depending on the person who's like using it and their skin. And it, for me, turns this stunning pink shade, and it just gives me this like gorgeous orgasmic flush, and I'm obsessed with it. I'm so obsessed with it. It just makes me look very healthy and awake, and I'm going to show you now. Get out my little mirror. This palette is like a million years old. It's literally destroyed. Like, who's it from? NARS, the NARS Wanted Eyeshadow Palette. Okay, what? So you put it on and it like turns a different color. You don't need much of it, but like it gives you a very, very dewy glow. And if you're not into like shiny, dewy, the wet skin look, you won't like this, but I love that. I hated it when I had acne because if you've got like a super textured skin, it's not usually something like you want to highlight, but oh, this is so pretty. Loads of you messaged me saying you ordered this after my reel. Still an influencer. Maybe one day I'll be one of those granfluencers. Do you call them that? Granny influencers. It's literally a whole thing. I saw such a good video by Tiffany, I'll link it down below, about why we need older influencers. And she has made me realize that I don't follow enough like people who are actually older than me. I follow a lot of people my age and younger, and I guess like I want to fill my feed with like women who show how amazing life is and can be when you're older, to get me excited about all that and to just like, yeah, just make me feel like I have a place online. The fire's gone. When did that happen? This is a Sky Glass TV. Sky, I love you, but this TV turns off if you've not pressed the buttons in a certain amount of time. And sometimes it happens when like my little lad is in the middle of watching his Paw Patrol movie and he gets very upset about it. I'm gonna put a tiny bit of that on my lips as well. I'm going to use some of the Huda Beauty Cherry Blossom Cake Easy Bake Loose Baking and Setting Powder. I just use a teeny bit of that in like the T-zone under my eyes. Not on the cheeks because I want them to look wet. Yeah, a lot of these like older influencers, they're class. Like they're defying stereotypes. They are catering to all the different needs and interests of, you know, people. Because it's not like every bloody person is going to enjoy the kind of, you know, typical Instagram model type influencer. And a lot of them, like, they won't stick with just one niche either. And I love that in creators. All my favorite creators cover lots of different things. I saw Lily Pebbles mention this in a recent video about how, like, you know, it's like the best thing to do to grow online is to have a thing. And I kind of mentioned that in my 10 years video, but like, you know, fashion or like plus size fashion, like the more narrow the niche, the easier it is to grow, but the less likely you are to have a career out of this thing, you know, or to like have a community that are like really in it with you, who are really like super invested in you as a person. And also you're way more likely to just get really bored. For me, that's what's kept me from doing the whole niche thing for a long time. Like I had a moment where I really could have made skincare my niche, and like you remember all those skincare channels blowing up and every video was like, it was just so many millions of billions of products, but like they made so much money and they all brought out their own skincare lines and they just got massive. And there was a time where like my skincare videos just got so many views and stuff, and a lot of people did follow me for that specifically, and I could have made that my whole thing, but I would have been so bored. Like there's so many things I care about and I'm interested in, and lots of things that I even want to make YouTube videos about, but I just end up not doing it. I had about 5 people say, Melanie, please make a video of your DVD collection and go through all of your DVDs and tell us about all of your favorite movies. And I remember thinking, I'd love to do that. That would be such a fun video to just talk about my favorite movies because I love film. But then my brain was like, oh, but that video probably only get 20,000 views, 10,000 views. I can't do that because like my kind of average, like I'm always shooting for like at least 50,000 is like a decent kind of benchmark for me in terms of my job, like my brand fee, my fee from brands I work with and stuff. Yeah, I think if I was just posting about one thing, I'd go stir crazy. I like the odd video about house renovation, the odd video about a random topic I'm interested in, then something like this, like Get Ready With Me, or like a video about food. I recently made a why in a week, a collab with my husband or my sister, or like a video about motherhood, just lifestyle generally. The comments from you kind of made me realize that I suppose what I do need and want for myself is just like an exit strategy. Like if I was to stop doing this as a job, what would I do? Just to make a firm decision on that. What would I do? How would I go about juggling that with my children and this? Because That's the decision I've made, is I'm going to do this probably forever, even if it's just a hobby, even if it stops being my job. And yes, in that instance, I definitely would not be posting as often as I do. But I wouldn't just like vanish off the face of the earth. I would keep up with you. But I really needed that therapy session, and the messages and comments have made me really examine my feelings on such a different level. Like, a time will come when I amn't in the throes of it with a baby, that I will have more brain space for all of the things that I care about, all the topics that I want to connect with people on. And I don't want to lose that ability to kind of talk about something and immediately have all these people from around the world show up in a comment section who care about the same thing. It's such a cool thing, and I'm so lucky, and I don't want to lose this. We're seeing so much more inclusivity when it comes to body types and race and disabilities and everything like that, and slowly we're kind of seeing age addressed more. I think, yeah, because more of the people who kind of grew up with the internet as a big thing in their lives, they're getting older. The world is getting older, and we have to embrace that. I big time need to stop worrying about the niche thing, because, you know, yeah, as I got a bit sidetracked there, but like, yeah, the people I follow, I like when people post about lots of different things, because it's just more human. I know that it gives a creator more flexibility and stuff like that, but it's the full rounded humanness that I crave from these platforms, from following people. And I need to focus on the good things about being an older person having influence online, like, for example, influencing people to be more active and including more movement in their lives so that they can be more mobile in life now, but like also when they're older, and not just exercising to look good, doing a TikTok dance. You know what I mean? I want to be able to have a positive influence on people, and to be real about the place I'm at in life, and to show that it doesn't stay like this. Everyone I know with older kids is living the dream. And while, yes, there's so much about the stage of life that I'm at that I am enjoying, it's really hard and messy and not very aesthetic. And there's a constant worry that nobody wants to see it. No one wants to hear it. No one wants to hear a mother talking about how tired she is. Nobody wants to hear a mother talking about how it takes a village, and there is no village. My lovely friend Christy talked about this in a video recently, and she said, where is the village? You know, where are they? Thomas and I have 2 people in the world that we can rely on to kind of give us a hand with the kids, but really that's it. And it's not anyone in our lives like fault. Like, I'm not there for certain people in the way that I would like to be with their children. And my mom friends and I, like, while we're there for each other and always offer to like take each other's kids and mind each other's kids, it really isn't that simple, because each of us is operating around our own routines and schedules, and our partners' work schedules, and our own kids' schedules, and the stage that our kid is at and what they're going through. And like, there's just so much. There's so much. The way we live nowadays, where we live in a nice, big, spacious house, usually not like a stone's throw away from family and friends. We all need to be paying them bills. Life just isn't set up for the whole village raising a child situation scenario. And we are incredibly lucky with the help that we do have from grandparents. I know that there are people who have literally nobody, but in saying that, still, like, having a couple of grandparents available to, like, you know, help with your kids for a few hours every week is like, it just turns out that's just, it's not really enough. It's like, you just get so burned out as a parent all the time. And loads of you are experiencing that, and you want people to talk about it. Motherhood's just such chaos, yet it's like the best thing ever. It's so weird. And I want to show lots of ups and lots of downs, not just motherhood stuff. Like, I want to take you on my life journey, which is what I have been doing. Like, for most of the time I've been online, I didn't have kids. For a third of the time almost that I've been online, I have been a mother, and I've changed, and that is okay. So back to the positive aging conversation with my therapist. Oh my God, like, it was all about how important it is to acknowledge that growing older is not only a normal and natural part of life, it's a privilege. Like, think of so many people do not get to grow older. And at the end of the day, that's why we celebrate our birthdays. You're celebrating the fact that you're still here and you're still breathing and living and loving, and there's still just so much possibility for you. We talked about embracing change and believing that getting older can be a rewarding experience and a positive experience, and just like redefining purpose, I guess. When you're younger, so much of what seems to be purpose is that changes as you get older. And I don't know why it's always seen in a bad way. Like, I don't know what it is, but from when I was like 15, I just lived my life with these external forces convincing me that I would always be young, because it's always young people at the core of every conversation. I think that's why I've started to really love shows and movies about older people. Like, I've always loved films like It's Complicated, but like even more recently, like, you know, Grace and Frankie and stuff like that. I want to embrace getting older. I really do. And that does not mean, I'm just going to put my Jane Iredale pomist on my face. That does not mean that I can't be also interested in skincare. Because caring for your skin and wanting pretty skin doesn't mean wanting your skin to stay the same. You can want to look after your skin and also not expect that it doesn't change at all. And the same with my body, like, I don't expect my body to just look the way it did 10 years ago. And I know it never will, but I can still want to make the most of it, and I can still care about, you know, how I look, how I present myself. So I don't want you to think that like I'm here saying I'm just gonna like let my hair go white, although I wish I could do that, and maybe one day I will be brave enough to do that. But you know, society has really affected me in so many ways, and you know that. I won't pretend otherwise, but I just learned so much from your comments, so much insight, so much wisdom from yous, and I'd like to continue the conversation about this down in the comments. There's so many things I forgot to say, but now that I'm ready, I feel like this is the time to end the video. Also because I can hear my toddler giving out a bit. It's time for me to stick my head in, see what's going on. But yeah, I thanked yous a lot in that last video. But again, thank you very much for the feedback and the opinions and thoughts. And yeah, like so much of the feeling of now's the time to end, because I've had the kids, I have the house. That is a me thing. I'm a sucker for a narrative. I love the narrative, and that my brain is very intertwined with all of the story arcs that exist. And there's only a certain amount of story arcs that there really are in film, in books. You know how much I love those things. So when you're sharing your life and editing your life and presenting your life in a certain way, you can tend to look at it through the lens of like the narrative, because in a lot of my videos I'm trying to like structure it, you know, and it has to have this arc, a beginning, a middle, and end, and it's a bit funked. The screen does not go black on me. I am a person, and a lot of you pointed that out. Like, I'm not a character. I am a human being. I'm a person. My life is not over just because I've gotten to this place. And while it may not be as interesting to as many people, I know that there is an audience for this stuff. You've proved it. The feedback I've had has been incredible. So I'm going to keep talking about this stuff to my therapist. Reminder again of my discount for BetterHelp down in the description box if you're in need of having chats with a professional. Yeah, I'm going to go, and I'm not going to go for good. I'm just going to go for now. I'm not leaving forever. I won't be forever young. I don't want to be forever young. That's today's awkward video ending. They're getting worse.